important we keep them. And with that, I'll throw it back to you, Dwayne, so we can get it started.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Shane the Negotiator and Diamond D. All right, Diamond D sells on all platforms. Did I say that right?
Diamond DEE sells on all
Diamond
platforms.
DEE sells on all platforms. There we go. There we go. All
Yes.
all right. So listen, family. Today we are going to get into another great discussion. I want to before we even get into to today's discussion, y'all. I want to let you know. Shout out to everyone who participated on last Wealthy Wednesday. All right. Shout out to everyone who participated on last Wealthy Wednesday. That was so impactful. We got so much feedback about last week's Wealthy Wednesday and the mental health component to our community. And you know, we definitely saved all of the suggestions about related episodes we can do going forward, and we will be returning to that topic sometime in the near future, so that we can get some more healing going on. But today we talking about breaking generational curses. But before we do, who are we? Who are we, Miss Hall? I'm Dwayne.
I'm Chanel.
And who are we?
We are Power Couples of
There you
Business.
go, there you go, there you go. All right. So we power couples in biz, but more to the point. We are financial advisors, entrepreneurs, business coaches. I mean, those three really and community activists, right?
I was just thinking that.
Yes, we are constantly advocating and working towards improving the situations in our community. More specifically, we attack it from me and Chanel attack it from a financial perspective.
Right.
All right, we all have our own roles and our own lanes, and educating our people on financial literacy is one of the ways that we give back to our communities. All right. We help people to number one, protect the monies they work so hard to earn, and number two, show them various different ways to grow those monies so they don't have to work until they die, right? And so that they can pass on generational wealth.
Yes.
Okay. So with
Well, any business shout outs?
yes. We had one, a different one. All right, I'm gonna do the regular one that I'm always shout out the Unity Walk, right? www.theunitywalk.com. I might have said four W's, but it's only three, right? So www.theunitywalk.com. That is a nonprofit that feeds Black families in every state around the country. All right.
And I also wanted to shout out Aquabe.
Yeah, not yet,
Academy.
not yet.
Oh.
That's coming next. That's coming next.
Okay.
Right? We go get to her. We go get to her. All right. The Unity Walk. The Unity Walk is powerful. I've seen them feed a whole family for $20, and that was a couple years ago. Right? They're still saying $20, but I'm saying give them 25, 30, right? Because we know inflation hit and the price ain't the same no more of foods and goods. All right, this money goes directly back to the community, feeding families. And yes, that's for the Unity Walk. Sorry to cut you, Miss Hall.
No, I thought you were done.
And now let's talk about our second Black business shout out.
Yes, I wanted to shout out Aquabe Academy. I know I'm spelling it wrong. It's Dwayne Aquaba. Thank you. Thank you. She's on IG. She is a Black business owner that does a lot of work in our community for our young Black students. So she helps kindergarten through second grade with early childhood education. Mm-hmm. So she actually works with your child one-on-one in tutoring and, getting them ready to read, getting ready for kindergarten, all those basic skills that they need when it comes to their early development. Reeling up, I know.
Yeah, I was. I want to get the right spelling.
Yeah, no, it's AK.
Oh, well, see, I messed it up already. That's probably why I ain't find it.
AKA. There it is. AKWAABAAKADEMY.
I'm going to spell it one more time, okay? It is AKWAABAAKADEMY.
Yes.
All right? Aquaba Academy.
So for those of you guys with young children and you guys want to, get some help with their early education,
yes,
check her out.
Yes. All right. So, and she does a great job. Listen, she's been tutoring and teaching children for years. All right, she does a great job, and she has a great way with children. You can know when somebody's doing something for the money, and when they're doing it just for the love of doing it, right? So she absolutely loves what she does, and it shows in her results and her interactions with the children. All right, so now let's jump into it. Breaking generational curses.
Yes.
All right, peace, peace, peace.
Now, it's kind of a continuation from the last 2 weeks. We've been talking about, I think last week we talked about mental health in the Black community.
Mm-hmm.
The week before that, we talked about, I think it was a young woman that was talking about her parents didn't prepare her for a. So we're kind of like just keeping that wave flowing, and we're talking about breaking generational curses. So what are some of the generational curses that you can identify in your own family, or maybe in families around you? Maybe friends that you might see things going in their family, and you're just like, oh wow, is my family that bad?
Well, you know what, Ms. Hall? I guess let's clarify, because people might not know what a generational curse is.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna get into it. I just wanted to just kind of get the conversation stirring, just getting people thinking. But I mean it in the terms of things that are that you probably thought was normal, but they're really toxic. Things that we thought are okay, but it really doesn't serve you. Things that might have served your parents, but it doesn't really serve you in today's industry, in today's market, in today's society. Or maybe it didn't really serve them, but that they thought that was the best thing possible, so that's what they taught you. And it could be for anything. Of course, we're talking about Wealthy Wednesday, but it could be for anything.
Now, just to add, right? Just to add to what Chanel said, I heard a saying, and I know some of you guys probably heard it before. It's this saying that it's like a story, and it's this woman. She's I think she cuts the front and the back off the ham. I don't eat ham. I don't support pig, right? But she cuts the front and the back off the ham to cook it every year for Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever it was, and then one day somebody asked her, why do you do that? And she said, my mother did it. She went to ask her mother, why you do that? And the mother said, because my mama did it, right? And then went back to great grandma, why you do that, right? Great grandma said, because the pot was too small, so I had to cut the ends off so it can fit, right? But throughout the generations, they thought that was something necessary. Why? Because communication was lost there.
Correct.
Right? And then you ended up doing something that became a generational curse. Shoot, cooking the pig in the first place. But then again, that's just me. You know what I mean? To each his own. But these are the things that get passed on through generations, and a lot of actions and activities we do get passed on to us from other people in our family. And we don't know why we still do these things. These things don't even serve us, right? But we just do it because that's what everybody else was doing. Right. So, what are some of those things?
So Vital Virtual over on Instagram says, well, she had a whole lot to say.
Ooh.
Let me see. She says, the lack of accountability, providing, not parenting.
Oh, that's heavy.
The provisions of parenthood, provisions don't apply to real time. So, yeah, I definitely want to talk about the lack of accountability that you mentioned. I think that was a great one. Too many times, and I've been guilty of this myself, but too many times, when people have to correct us for something that we do, we don't hold ourselves accountable. Instead, we make excuses for our behavior because we get defensive. And then we might say things like, oh, well, the reason why I did it was this. And in actuality, no one really cares why you did the thing. They want you to own the fact that you did that thing that might have caused some type of trauma to that individual.
Just own it, but fix it.
Yeah, own it first,
right,
and then work on fixing it and correcting that behavior. So I think the lack of accountability is definitely a generational curse that needs to be broken in a lot of families.
I want to say one that she said that hit home for me. Which one was it?
Parent providing.
Providing, not parenting. There it is. Oftentimes in our communities, and I've seen this in my own experience, I don't know if other people can identify, but we often think that if we give our children more stuff, that's a great replacement for actually parenting those children. And I don't know how long it's going to take us to realize that children don't care about material things. They don't. They don't. They care about time. They care about time, right? How much time can you spend with them?
Mm-hmm.
I do not remember. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't remember hardly anything that was bought for me in my childhood. I don't. Like, it's not a lot of things I stand out. I remember, like, when, I ain't gonna tell y'all my age, but when the first gaming station came out, right?
We already know.
That hey. So yeah, when that first gaming station came out, right? I remember, but I don't care about that. Even that didn't have an emotional. It wasn't an emotional thing that was anchored to that memory, right? But you know what actually I held close when my dad flew up when I graduated my my boot camp in the Army. He flew up to see me. He was there. When I graduated Job Corps, family came out to see me. Right? I can lose $100 today and get it back tomorrow. Right? But if I lose 100 minutes today, I can't get that back ever. Right? So when we focus on, oh, it's the grind, it's the grind, it's the grind, and as long as I'm providing for my children, then they should be happy. But what are you providing? You're providing things. You're not providing structure. You're not providing a welcoming, warm environment. You're not providing a trusted space. You're not providing guidance, because how can you guide me if I don't trust you because I don't know you, right? So all these are things that come up in generational curses. That one was a big one. What's her name again?
Vital Virtual.
Yeah, that was powerful, Vital, over there. That was powerful. All right.
And I want to ask everybody that's watching or tuning in a question. You know, the holidays are coming up.
Huh.
You know, what are your plans?
Woo!
You know, I know tomorrow is Thanksgiving, and some of us celebrate Thanksgiving. Some of us don't. What are your plans for tomorrow? Let's see what some people are saying. Yeah, do you guys have plans to do anything tomorrow? If so, what are those plans? Drop it in the chat, because I'm curious. I want to know. And the reason why I'm asking is because in tomorrow alone, generational curses can be broken.
Yes.
So I just want to know, what are some of the things that you guys plan on doing tomorrow?
Today, generational curses can be broken. Well, no. What do they call it? Oh no, it's the day after. It's a Black Friday. That's what that is. Yeah. That's what they call it.
And then tomorrow, Friday's Black Friday. Okay, let me see. What's this?
There you go. Let's see. Absolutely nothing. I got
a lot of invites, but I declined. That's what Shane said. Shane said she's not doing anything tomorrow. She got a lot of invites, but she declined.
I respect it, Shane. I respect it.
Anybody else? What y'all got going on?
Wait, hold
tomorrow?
up. Why is Shane responding to us in the chat when she on the stage? I just caught myself, man. She probably eating.
Good. I was trying to finish up my chicken wings.
What? Oh, how I know so good? Stop eating when we talking.
Let's break generational curses, people. No.
Right.
Time management, right? You know, every Wednesday at 12 o'clock, we do Wealthy Wednesday.
Yes.
So you need to eat 11:30 to 12.
Correct. So that your mouth is available to talk.
Time management. That's a generational curse that we need to break.
Yes.
One of the things I was going to say is communication. And I think that kind of piggybacks on the conversation last week of, you know, us sweeping things under the rug and not wanting to deal with things head on, you know, and just kind of like avoiding different topics and different conversations that need to be had.
So, Diamond, give me some examples of that.
Communication all around.
Give me some examples of sweeping things under the rug.
So basically, you know, kind of, I wanted to wait until later, but I guess I'll say it now. You know, kind of to piggyback on what someone else said. It's not the intent of what you did, it's the impact. So even if your intention was good in your mind, if the impact was negative, then you have to own that.
Ooh.
You have to own that, and that's where it ties into accountability. You know, so even even though in your mind you feel you didn't do anything wrong, if it turned out to be disastrous or it came out, unintended, so to speak, then you have to own that. Even if though you didn't feel as if you did anything wrong, it impacted someone else a negative way. So focusing on the impact and not the intent.
Awesome. I absolutely agree. I wanted to add to that. Let's talk about when it comes to communication. Let's talk about some of us might be business owners. Some of us might still have a 9-to-5 job. Talking to both of those individuals. So have you ever experienced where you might be at work or even in your business and you keep getting the same type of customer or client? That you keep attracting, and it's constantly a negative encounter between you and this person, and then you might start getting upset, and you're just like, man, like, oh, I hate when these such and such type of people always keep coming to me, or whatever the case may be. But sometimes we have to take a step back and say, okay, what is the role that I'm playing that's causing this type of energy to keep attracting to me? Is my communication clear? Is my messaging clear? Sometimes we're not clear in our communication. So when we talk to people, it causes a lot of, what's what I'm looking for? Misunderstanding.
Conflict.
So then the history keeps repeating itself over and over and over. And then you have to ask yourself, well, is it the people or is it me?
Let me give you a generational curse to just add into what you just said, Ms. Hall. And, everyone's family is different. So the family I grew up in, the inclination when you hit a wall is to fight the wall. Right? That's the reflex that was taught to me. Hit an obstacle, you fight the obstacle. Other people's experiences, if you hit an obstacle, you hide from the obstacle. Shrink from it. Right? That thinking is generational curse. Is a generational curse. I don't have to fight the wall. I don't have to knock it down. I don't. Sometimes I can just say, you know what? That's a wall. And I don't want to go through it. So I'm going to go around it. Yeah. Right? I don't have to knock it down. I could choose not to. I could choose just not to engage the wall.
That's true.
Right? But if that was never taught to me, that doesn't exist in my toolbox of problem solving skills, of life skills, right? So now it becomes a generational curse, because guess what I'm going to do now? If I haven't learned anything different when we have children, and I reach an obstacle with those children, I'm going to try to knock the child down or their belief system down. We don't realize it's a generational curse, and now I'm doing the same thing to them and teaching them the same tool, right? But instead of doing it that way now, how about we learn how to communicate a little bit better? Because accountability is saying, just because I'm not good at handling, just because I haven't been taught at how to handle conflicts, just because I was miseducated on how to handle conflicts, does not mean I have to stay that way. And the way that I've been handling, even if I might not have been aware of it, affected people in a negative way. And I got to own that.
So I wanted to chime in on what you're saying too, and Chanel mentioned. So, the one thing I would say, I guess I lost the exact word. I guess in a part of avoidance. That's what it is. The generational curse is avoidance. So, which ties into what both Dwayne and Chanel was just saying. When the communication is not as effective, at times people just not comfortable having certain conversations, or they think even just a simple conversation, they view it as conflict. So, for instance, someone may, a lot of us here are business owners, or you may not be a business owner. You may be a customer or a client patronizing a business, and you may need to cancel an appointment, to reschedule, or you can't pay the invoice, or whatever reason. It can be endless reason. It doesn't even matter why you can't meet that appointment. A lot of times, first, the simplest thing is just to cancel. You might put a little synapse, say, hey, I can't make it, or whatever. A lot of times people won't cancel, just won't show up. Other times they may cancel and then they may give an explanation, but the explanation is a lie. It's not truthful. If the reason you can't keep the appointment is for financial reasons, it's no shame to say that. You know what, financially just not in my budget right now, or whatever the case may be. versus, you know, you sitting on the appointment with someone and you let that person believe that you're moving forward with services or their products, and then they don't hear from you ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Or they may hear from you a year later or whatever. And this can be not just with businesses, it can be in your friendships, your relationships, whatever. It's a generational curse that needs to be broken, because effective communication is needed no matter from the smallest person to baby all the way up until, you know, 200 years old. You make it that far. And that is what is one of the hugest curses that right now is a problem with so many people, is not communicating effectively and avoidance.
And why do you think that? I mean, to anybody, why do you think that is? Like, why do you think people rather just avoid you rather than to say, "Hey, you know, I don't have the money to afford your services right now"?
I want to answer that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's because oftentimes the ego's in control, and the ego says that if I'm not perfect, I'm no good.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The ego says that if I admit I made a mistake and you took away from me, you took something away from me, right? And we don't want to feel like someone's taking something away. I don't want to feel less than what I thought I was, right? And it's dysfunctional thinking. That's really what it is. Because I've been there, right? I don't want to admit, because then if I admit it, then it's real. But it's already real. So what is that saying? We prefer to live in a delusion than to face reality, right? But it's already real because it happened, right? The only difference is this is where strength of character comes in. What type of a person am I choosing to be after that? After I made the action, am I the type of person, because the results came out bad, am I the type of person to disavow, like lie about the fact that I did it because I didn't like the outcome, or am I going to own the outcome? And if some bad things happen because of my actions, am I going to not just own the outcome, but am I going to seek to repair the damage that was done? That doesn't take away from me. That adds to my character. It adds to the development of who I am as a person. So I'll go ahead and let anybody else want to add to that.
I wanted to add that I think Shane mentioned embarrassment. People are embarrassed when they don't have enough money to pay for your services. And I'm going to take it back to childhood. I remember as a kid, sometimes we may not have enough money. Back in the days, there was no such thing as debit cards. You would pay, you go to the grocery store, you had cash. If you walked with $100, you better make sure that you keep that budget within that $100. And I remember times, you know, we couldn't afford everything. Let's say the stuff came to $120. Now we got to start taking things back.
And that was embarrassing.
And was it embarrassment, or did we just feel embarrassed?
No, we were taught that was embarrassing.
Right. So I remember,
was the feeling,
you know, you're like, oh man, you know, everybody's looking at me. You know, I got to put all this stuff back. And, you know, and then because in your mind, you're thinking, okay, we're holding up the line. People looking at us like, oh, they ain't got no money. They can't afford to get these groceries. All these thoughts are running through your mind. So as a child, you're watching the embarrassment on your parents' face. And now you start associating like, damn, you know, this is embarrassment when you don't have money. You're not supposed to tell people you don't have money. And sometimes your parents I remember my parents used to teach me, if you don't have, do without. Don't ask anybody. Don't go begging anybody for anything. So as you grow up, you start struggling with money.
Suffer silently.
And then you start thinking, okay, well, I can't ask anybody for help because I was taught not to tell people that I don't have it. So now here I am as an adult and I'm struggling. You know, I get on this call, you know, and I really want the services. I'm excited about it, but I really can't make ends meet to pay for it. And my mother always told me, if you don't have, do without, or don't ask people for help. So how can I come and I ask this person at this person, this business, hey, Mr. Business, I don't have money to afford your services. But I'm too embarrassed to tell you that because one, I know you're going to try to talk me into making a purchase that I can't afford. Because back in the days, they had these pushy salesmen. So now a lot of us have this negative experience when it comes to sales. So we try to avoid it. Oh, every salesman is pushy. Even if I don't got it, they still going to try to talk me into it. And I'm not strong enough, and I might give into it knowing that I can't afford it. and then I'm be upset with myself because I bought something that I can't afford. So you know what? I'm just not even gonna reply. I'm not gonna answer. I'm just gonna disappear.
Well, we can't keep running from our deficiencies, right? We cannot keep running from them. If something we don't know, listen. My family tried to tell me the same thing. I tried. They did. They told me the exact same thing. They said, listen, if you don't got, do without.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go begging nobody for nothing. Well, I was born different. Right? My thing was this. If you told me something that I didn't think makes sense, I would challenge it. And that was very different than the environment that they try to get me to, the person they try to get me to become, right? I was never really go along and get along type. I'm going to challenge it if I don't agree with it. So I would go and ask people questions like, I want to know. Like, if I don't have no money, I as a child, I used to get punished for this. Like, I ain't got no money, but how you get that? How can I get that? Oh, they parents, relatives pull you to the side. Hey, don't go tell nobody you don't got no money. You looking bad out here. You got us looking bad out here. I didn't care. I wanted to know. If I know what you know, I can get what you got. And that's still my mindset as an adult. And then throughout the years, that mindset has benefited me, right? Some of us are born to break generational curses in our family. And we don't even understand that was our assignment. This is why you don't think like the rest of the people in your family. And that's not everybody, but it's quite a few of us out there. They call us black sheeps. But you ain't no black sheep. You're the GOAT, the greatest of all times. You were sent to break those generational curses in your family, because if not for the way that you can see it, they would keep doing the same thing every generation. So you happen to be the one that said, you know what? This don't make sense. I was one of those ones in my family, looked at a lot of behaviors and were like, this don't make sense. I don't agree with this. And it was an uphill battle for, my early years. You got that bull in you. You want to force people to fix themselves. And then you realize I had to grow to a place of acceptance. That's who they choose to be. But I'm not going to be like that.
Absolutely. I think Diamond said she had a story to share. And then I wanted to kind of move forward and start giving you guys some practical stuff to start using.
Yes.
But go ahead, Diamond. You said you had a story to share? Uh-oh, Diamond, did we lose you?
Might have. Or it might have been one of them things where she's trying to unmute and they're not letting her unmute. If that's the case, Diamond, go ahead and leave the room and come right back in.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes,
yep,
we can hear you
now.
Okay, so it's a little personal and it's currently going on. So basically, my grandmother is sick, and I was in New Jersey. You guys know I travel back and forth from New York to New Jersey. So I was in New Jersey and I hadn't gotten on the road yet. So I called to the house because my grandmother was still there before she went to the hospital to just kind of speak to her directly, because I am her healthcare proxy, power of attorney, all that good stuff. So I called and my mother answered the phone and she's just like, I'm in a meeting, I can't talk right now. And I'm like, but I didn't call you. I called to speak to my grandmother. So I realized that she doesn't do good with trying to be a caregiver, and that's why my grandmother specifically designated certain people that she knew could handle, taking care of someone and things of that nature, or whatever the case is. So today, instead of being, offended and upset or whatever, I reached out to my mom. Communication, because I know that's one of her Achilles heels. And said, hey, is there anything I can help you with? Is there anything you need help with? Just to kind of like, because most people would just internalize it and be like, to help with you or whatever the case is. But I realized that it's hard for her, not only because it's her mother, but also because she's not a caregiver. That's just not how she's built. So I just wanted to share that. Sometimes it's kind of just stepping outside yourself and putting your emotions and, like Dwayne said, your ego to the side and just looking at the bigger picture. My grandmother needs help. I'm in a position to help her. So that's the bigger picture, and that's the goal. So that I just wanted to share that.
The key word you said was putting your ego aside. A lot of times it's easy for us to take offense to someone else's behavior and then internalize it and say that, okay, this person has something against me, when sometimes it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. and they just may not have the necessary tools to express themselves better in that moment. You know, I've been guilty of it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure we've all been there.
Like at first, my mother was like offended that my grandmother chose me as like health proxy and everything. But it's like I took care of my friend who had cancer and passed away literally in my arms. So my grandmother knows I'm capable, and I don't run from things like that. Like that's part of my genetic makeup to just help naturally be a helper and help people. So she knew that I would be able to rise to the occasion, but I guess my mom didn't understand why I was chosen to step into that role.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think your grandmother chose you based on not on emotion but on logic. She didn't choose you. She didn't choose your mother because of age. She chose you because of your wisdom. Libby said, "What's the financial responsibility of a healthcare proxy?" My mother isn't well, and she got a call from a company telling her she was chosen to be a proxy. This is only the second time I've heard the term.
All right, so go ahead, Danny.
Basically, it's kind of you're advocating for the person. So from my knowledge and my responsibility being in this role several times, your financial responsibility is what you are comfortable putting out, or whatever the case is. So technically, there's no real financial responsibility. It's more of you being an advocate for that person. Kind of like they have like patient advocates in the hospital. You're advocating for the best interest of that person. And it really should be someone that knows you know the person, and you know what their wishes are and stuff like that. Making sure the paperwork is filled out, whether it's a DNR or DNI or whatever the case is, so that their wishes can be acted out in accordance to what they want to happen. Because if someone is kind of like down and out and they can't really make decisions for themselves, that person is going to make decisions on their behalf.
You gotta put it in writing. If not, relatives can challenge it.
Yes.
Okay. Relatives will get in there and challenge it.
Because don't confuse it with the power of attorney. So the healthcare proxy and the power of attorney, sometimes because you might have two different people in those roles, and the healthcare proxy, just like they always saying, is just pretty much helping them to understand. Pretty much helping that person that can't make the decision for themselves, if they got to the point where they couldn't make decisions for themselves, you would step in and make those decisions for them and things like that. The power of attorney now, that actually grants authority to make the final decisions, like what happened when they're no longer here. What you're going to be responsible for that part. So it can be sometimes it can be the same person for both, or it can be two different people.
Well, I wanna add one thing. I gotta challenge something just briefly. And I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a legal professional, but the power of attorney ends the moment that the person who the power attorney is over dies.
Yes.
Okay, so if you have a power attorney, and there's different type of power attorneys, you can have a limited. The reason I'm familiar with this from when I was in the army. In the army, when you went to war, they would instruct you to leave someone's power of attorney to take care of the things you need taken care of. Like they can actually sign on your behalf for documents and go to the bank and do certain things. That's a general power of attorney. This person has the power to be you, right, until you revoke that power of attorney. Then you have limited power of attorneys that are more specific. All right, you can only pay my light bill, and you can get real specific with a limited power of attorney. You're only allowed to do, this one activity. And then the healthcare proxy is someone who can make decisions for you medically if you are unable to. So, for instance, Chanel knows, and she's my healthcare proxy. All right, she knows. I don't want to spend no more than 6 months as a vegetable. If you can't fix it in 6 months, pull the plugs. That's my decision to make. Nobody else's, right? However, my mother's a pastor. You think my mother ain't gonna fight Chanel? If Chanel says, all right, it's time to, Dwayne told me, and this is what he wants. Oh, it'll be a big fight. It'll be a big fight. My whole family will come and try to fight that. Now they in court and shit, stuff gets ugly. You know what I mean? But healthcare proxy, she's healthcare proxy. Now she can tell exactly what I want. No one can challenge that. And no, I don't want to. I don't want to be put in the ground. I don't want to be cremated. All right. So these are the different levels. They're all legal tools, but you got to understand what each one does. And I strongly recommend speaking to a legal professional, right, to get specifics if you want to go further into that whole conversation. But Libby, great question. And Libby, feel free to come up. Right? You've been around for a while. If you want to come to the stage, you come to the stage.
She actually put in the chat that she was grateful for the information because this can help her mother a lot.
Awesome.
Even Poppy says he's seen a lot of greed in his family when it comes to inheritance, wills, and life insurance. And yep, absolutely. And that's why, in our community, we do a lot of talking and we don't do a lot of writing.
Correct.
So, whatever comes out of our mouth, we need to be able to back it up by pen. So we have to write it down legally so that it can be binding. So that even if people try to challenge it, because it's a legal document, there's only but so much they can do. So to the point of, breaking generational curses, we were asking you guys about what are you doing this holiday season coming up and things of that nature. We actually wanted to play this video that we came across recently that we thought was very, very powerful, and we just had to share it with you guys.
Correct. Because one of the things that we like to do is just teach people how we broke certain generational curses for ourselves, right? So we don't do consumerism like us 10 years ago. Like holidays, most people use that as an excuse to just go consumer happy. What can I buy? What can I buy? This is my chance to go out and buy. Right? And you just want to go buy. You don't even know why. You're just getting high off the activity of buying something. I got something I just bought. It gives you a high.
It does. It feels
right?
good.
It does. But
it's
temporary and it sabotages your long-term objectives, right? So one of the things that we used to say was like, listen, we changed our family. Don't just buy gifts. First off, we don't celebrate holidays, right? We made our own holidays throughout the year. We literally made up our own holidays. So, if you're around us, you're going to celebrate with us or not, but we definitely not going to celebrate those other holidays. So anyways, when holidays come around on birthdays, right, if you want to buy our children a gift, sure, fine, you can, right? We're grateful. There are stipulations. There's stipulations. Here's a stipulation. Whatever your budget is, okay? It didn't matter if it was $10 or $100 or $1,000, whatever your budget is. Half of that budget has to be in the form of monies or a check to put in their investment account. Whatever the budget is, half of it has to be in that form. I don't care the amount. It's the principle, right? Or the other option is you can put 100% into the investment account and don't buy a gift at all. But please, do not buy a gift by itself. Because respectfully, we will return it.
So, also with Dwayne mentioned the holidays, we don't celebrate Christmas anymore. So, we used to. And I'm a firm believer, if you take something away from someone, you have to replace it with something else. So since our children were used to, celebrating Christmas with the family and things like that, once we took it away, we had to replace it with something else. So we came up with our holiday.
HALL.
Right. So we came up with our holiday. So for us, we celebrate our holiday season in February.
Yes.
Because February marks the
month
marks our union.
Corporation.
Right. So Dwayne and I started dating in February of 1998. So we celebrate all week long, right?
Yes.
So we start from it's a 7-day celebration.
There's 6 of us.
And every day of the week we celebrate one member of the family, starting from the youngest all the way up to the oldest. And on the 7th day, we do a group family celebration. We do like a dinner. Everyone has to participate in making the dinner. It's not just going to be mom. Mm-hmm. Everyone participates in that. It's not about spending money on gifts.
Nope.
We use the day to really honor that person, and we pour into them. We give them words of affirmation. We tell them what them being a part of our family means to us. and we just do things for them.
Everyone is in service to you.
We call it their special day.
That's your day.
And if we do buy something, it's not about the money, so it might not be more than $20 because it's not about the consumerism. That's what we do during Christmas, and we want to break those generational curses. Right. So we create our own special holiday because we incorporated our family's name into that.
And the focus is on the individual, not the things. Right.
And throughout that week, we're talking about our family plans.
Yes.
How we plan on building our family dynasty. You know, what each person can do to contribute to the family, to make the family better, to make the family business better, things of that nature. So I say all that to say, you know, we can break generational curses. It starts with one meeting at a time. It starts with just you being the one to say, hey, you know what? I don't want to keep doing things the way that my parents was doing it. I want to do it different. So each and every one of us can break our own generational curses. We just have to be willing to do it.
Correct.
And then we're going to play this video because this video kind of incorporates a little bit what we do in our own family.
And listen, like it's 6 of us, right? 4 of those are children. They love the holidays. So guess what's going to happen now? When they grow and they start their own families, they're going to have their own holidays. Mm-hmm. And then everybody going to come back home for the big holidays. Right? So, see, it's a system that's duplicatable, and it creates a positive relationship now instead of a negative one with money. But let's go ahead and play this video because we're running out of time, and we really want y'all to know that it's not just us. All other cultures have something similar to this, where they educate their children and their community about how money works so that you don't get mindless consumers, all right? So let's listen to this.
We give children, Hanukkah we start educating children about money. The gift we like to give children on Hanukkah is money, and we also accompany that with discussions of what money is and what it's about and what you have to, and now you have to, divide your money into 3. One part is for charity, one part is for you to spend on things you need, the other part is to put away and save. So yeah, Hanukkah is the money time of the year for us. It's passing on to the next generation the principles of money that are so important. What we do is we give children, Hanukkah we start educating children about money. The gift we like to give children on Hanukkah is money, and we also accompany that with discussions of what money is and what it's about and what you have to, and now you have to, divide your money into 3. One part is for charity, one part is for you to spend on things you need, the other part is to put away and save. So yeah, Hanukkah is the money time of the year for us. It's passing on to the next generation the principles of money that are so important. What we do is we give children, Hanukkah we start educating children.
Stop that right there. All right. Listen, that video right there was a Jewish rabbi. All right.
And Dwayne, it was you. Can you summarize what was said, because there was some feedback, so I don't think everybody might have heard.
I got you. Okay. So what he's saying is at Hanukkah, which is around this time of year, at Hanukkah, this Jewish rabbi is saying that they love to give their children money as a gift. Everyone gives the children money. But they don't just give them money, they give them money accompanied by education on what to do with that money. Mm-hmm. So he was saying that they're educated to split their money into 3 different accounts. One for charity, one for yourself, mm-hmm. and what's the third one? Savings, right? Mm-hmm. So the one for yourself is to take care of all the things you need, and then you got your savings over there, you know what I mean? And we already savings self-explanatory, right? Now, what he's not maybe breaking down is that one for charity is community charity, right? When I say community, now imagine if we had a community charity in the Black community where everyone gave 1/3 of what they made towards a fund that would be used in case anyone had an emergency. We could tap into that fund and rescue that person in the Black community from whatever turmoil that is.
That's true.
We could use that fund to start investments. What type of investments? Maybe we buy the next 5 blocks and we turn them into retail spaces.
That's right.
Right? And now those retail spaces need people you know, that corporation we just created that owns those retail places needs employees now. Things within that corporation, but that's people from our community, right? That we created jobs for now, right? So like you really gotta. It's just a shift in the way that we deal with money. We gotta stop wanting to. We gotta stop treating money like it's a hot rock in our hands. That's what we treat it like. It's like, oh, it's a hot rock. I got it. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Let me hurry up and get it out my hand before it burns through. We just gotta learn to be still a little bit.
Perfect example. Christmas is coming up.
Yes.
And a lot of people spend money on Christmas
Black
time.
Friday.
So, and even Black Friday. But what if every family member, on average, spends about, I don't know, $500? What if the next 5 Christmases, you guys said, hey, you know what? All the monies we would have spent on a Christmas gift, we're going to put that all in one pot. And then we're going to go use that to invest in real estate.
So that now no one has to work
then you
anymore.
tell the kids, hey kids, we're not getting gifts this year. We're not getting actual presents.
Right. Explain it.
Right. Have these conversations with them. Instead, you guys can do something similar to what we do and just use that time to just love on each other. Have conversations with each other, educate each other. But what happens is that investment property that you're not buying can now pay you guys for generations now. And now you can take that money as income, and now you guys can go on family vacations and things like that. But that $500 that you probably would have spent during that Christmas can now end up paying you maybe $5,000.
Put it in a trust.
So it's just we're just really breaking generational curses by just changing our relationship with money, changing our relationship with the holidays.
Yes.
See, like that's really important too.
V. Harris says, as long as it doesn't get abused, when we're talking about that accumulation of monies, right? Let me tell you something, V. Harris, you're spot on. But guess what? Abuse is going to happen regardless. That's why you put systems in place to check the abuse. Do not let the consideration stop you from doing the thing that needs to be done. There's always going to be considerations. If I hop in a car, I might get in an accident. If I get dressed and leave the house, I might get shot. There's always something that might go wrong, but we can't let the thought of what might go wrong stop us from doing what needs to be done. I could have children and be, words are powerful, but something terrible could happen, and I'm not. But is that going to stop me from having children? No, right? You still do it anyway, and you put things in place to take care of those what ifs that might pop up.
And structure, you build structure around anything. You look at anything as a business. So just like you have a president, a vice president, a CFO, chief financial officer, a COO, a secretary, a treasurer, you put those things in place so that it's checks and balance going on, and it's just not a free-for-all. And anything that you do, you don't want to be reckless with it. You want to actually have a solid plan before you execute that plan.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, family, it is not hard to change your current situation. It just takes small adjustments over time. All right? Small adjustments over time. If you guys met me and Chanel 10 years ago, we were completely different thinkers. Like, we probably wouldn't even want to hang out with us 10 years ago. We'd have been like, oh, what are you thinking? What are you doing? Why are you doing this stuff? Right? But you got to be patient because everybody's not on the same page. Everybody's not at the same point of development. So even though I got family and friends that don't think like this, I don't feel like I'm better than them. That's ego, right? I'm looking at them as I am you. I just learned a little bit more. So maybe if I teach you a little bit more, maybe you can improve your thinking too. All right? So, what you got, Ms. Hall?
I guess we can just go around and do our final thoughts. As always, I enjoy meeting with you guys every Wednesday, hearing your thoughts, getting together, meetings of the minds, and just sharing some of our experiences, and hope that it inspires you guys. And and you guys inspire us too.
Yes.
We learn from you, and we apply some of the things that we learn. Some of these videos that we watch, we apply it too. We're not perfect. We're far from.
Right, and this is why we encourage you guys. Listen, ladies, gentlemen, do not be shy around the halls. Listen, you guys, if you're on IG, you can click the camera button. You can come on and talk. We want to hear you. Well, don't put us on no pedestal, please don't. Right? We want to talk to you. Right? We want to, like, you might have something to teach us. It's not always the other way around. You know what I mean? We want to hear from you. One family, and this is how community is built, right? Because the same way we just shared how we do our holidays with you, you might have something that you can share with us. It's like, wow, that's pretty interesting. I like the way that sounds, right? And we want to hear it because everybody else is going to hear it. Each one teach one, right? Right now, for the month of November, me and Chanel, we are actively working and looking for veterans or active military people. All right, veterans or active military people. It matter if they served before, if they're serving now. We want those people who are looking for alternative careers, their path. Okay, have them reach out to us. Have them reach out to us. They got to do it sooner rather than later. The month is almost up. Out to us. Those 3 licenses, it's a game changer. All right, that's all I'm gonna say about that. It's a game changer.
And before people start thinking that you might not be smart enough to
don't talk
to
yourself
work
out
in the area of finance, you don't know anything about finance or anything like that. I'm gonna tell you that my background is not finance at all. I never even thought about working in the area of finance, but right now it's so easy to get access to information because we have the internet.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have a passion for helping people, helping yourself, helping other people, then let that lead you before you let the thought of it being finance discourage you from giving it a try.
Correct. And if you are not a veteran, unfortunately we can't pay for all those licenses for free this month, but you can still work with us. All right, you can still work with us, and no, you don't have to pay the $1,500 to $2,000 for your licensing. For non-veterans, to get those very same licenses is $124. All right, $124, and we'll cover the cost of the licenses. All right, so I don't know how many times I got to say this, but if you know people that want to, if you want to reach out to us, set an appointment for a one-on-one consultation, or to just look at the business opportunities in terms of working with us, feel free to schedule something and we'll talk. We'll absolutely have a great conversation about it.
And for all the other platforms, I'll go ahead and I'll drop the link in the bio or in the description.
All right, awesome. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and start to close it out. In order of Shane and Diamond, please, any last words, and tell the people how they can get in contact with you.
So yes, I'm Shane the negotiator again. So the only words that I have is that it's never too late to start something new. You might be used to doing one thing. It doesn't mean that you have to continue doing that one thing. You can decide to do something different. I know I put in the chat when I said I got lots of invites to go to different places to eat and hang out and spend time with people's families and friends and things. And it's great to do that. But I just opted not to do all of those things because I look at it this way. If you don't invite me throughout the year to come and hang and chill with your family, don't do it on Thanksgiving either. That's just, my personal thing on that. I'm single, I live alone for the most part. And a lot of times, I don't always get invited to things because I don't have children, family functions. But then I would get those invites. Oh, I know you're by yourself. You come for Thanksgiving or come for Christmas. Then why those invites are not extended throughout the year? And I'm not bitter or anything like that. People just don't think about that. And I'm just giving you guys something to think about. You should be loving your friends and family members throughout the year, not just on the big holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas and 4th of July. And the second part of that is if you are going to continue to gather and have these functions, think of it, if you have a business or whatnot, you can turn it into a business by talking business with your family members so that you can write off your dinners and the food that you prepared and or whatnot, except for alcohol. So you can write those things off because a lot of times as business owners, you don't think about that. You have children there, you have people of all ages, and it's a tax write-off that can benefit you and your family, especially if you start implementing what the halls just talked about with Instead of giving Christmas gifts, and giving money to the different charities, or to put money in children's investment accounts and things like that. That's the time you could have those conversations and do those things and save those receipts so that you can write it off on your taxes. So that was my final words. And if you wanted to reach me to talk about some of these things, and also to find out more about how taxes can work for you versus you working for your taxes, you can reach me at SD Negotiator on IG, Facebook, and even on TikTok now, and here on Clubhouse. So that's SD, S as in Sam, D as in dog, and Negotiator. And I pass the mic to Diamond.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Always happy to be here and be able to add value to the conversation. Thank you for having me. I'm Diamond, DEE, Sells on all platforms. Diamond D Sells. I always spell it out because sometimes people put Diamond D and they're like, we can't find you. So Diamond DEE Sells on all platforms. Clubhouse, Twitter, Instagram, and I also answer real estate questions on Reddit. I help, like I said, first-time home buyers as well as seasoned investors with the home buying process. I'm all things real estate, and I hold your hand to take you from A to Z through knowledgeably educating you through the process. Anyone can purchase a home, but can you keep it? So I hope you keep it. And I think, the word of today is accountability. And like I said, it's not the intent, it's the impact. So your intention could be great, but if it impacted someone negatively, you have to own that. And with that, I'll pass it to you guys to close it out.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I like that statement. It's not the intent, it's the impact.
Yes.
Because sometimes the best intentions can still cause harm, and we have to acknowledge that. If it happens, we got to acknowledge harm was committed by our actions, regardless of how we intended it, and address that situation and remedy that situation.
That is true.
All right. Ms. Hall, last words before we close it up?
That's it. Like I said, it's always been a great Wealthy Wednesday. I always enjoy sharing the stage with all of you, and we appreciate that you guys come back and listen to what we have to say. You guys always share. We're actually doing something a little different. We forgot to mention that we were doing a little challenge of sorts. So for the person who shares the most, we're in honor of giving back, we're trying to see if we can
Make it competitive.
Yeah, we're trying to see we can reward you guys for constantly showing up and sharing. So we'll put something together by next week, and we'll share what that reward would be. So stay tuned for that.
Keep sharing. We paying attention.
This is our way of saying
we're going to start incentivizing that.
Yes.
All right. So everybody have a very productive, Wealthy Wednesday. It's been our pleasure, and we will see you next week.
Yes. For those of you guys who are going to be off for the next couple of days, enjoy your extended weekend.
Yes. And peace, love, and light, family. I'm closing it out on Clubhouse in 5, 4. Oh, Libby, I saw your comment. Libby, I saw your comment. Absolutely, you have our contact. You can reach out and let us know when. Okay. All right. So we're closing it out on Clubhouse in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. And over here on IG, hanging tough from beginning to end. Great conversation. Thank you, The Awakening 666. Thank you for the acknowledgement. Thank you, B1 Poppy. Thank you, The Original Woman X. All right. Hey guys, listen, it's real. It's real. When I tell you we about to put some incentives out there. So please like, share, and if you got those veterans, send them our way. All right. They'll thank you later. All right. And without further ado, we closing out Wealthy Wednesday on IG in 5, 4, 3, 2,